Welcome back to 1,000 rated course quest, my series where before I leave the Denver area in December, I want to see if I can shoot a 1,000 rated round on the channel, one shot straight up at every single course in the Denver area, and then hopefully in the mountains a little bit out west, maybe to the north if I have time, as well as to the south. These are all the courses that I'm trying to do this at, all of the highlighted ones being ones that are currently under construction, or maybe I don't know what a 1,000 rated round looks like. But for every other course, I'm creating a spreadsheet, which I'll have linked down in the description, where I go back to the beginning of 2024 and see every single round that was played on a standard layout of that course, see what the closest round to 1,000 rated was, how many points per stroke the ratings changed, and then I simulate a 1,000 rated round and average those out and see what I have to shoot. So today, regardless of conditions, regardless of which layout was in, 8 down was the average for a 1,000 rated round here at Prickly Pines Disc Golf Course in Elizabeth, Colorado. The furthest in the Denver area, but such a good course. And if you guys saw yesterday's video where my Tour Series disc dropped, shout out my 2025 Proto Glow Tour Series Sphinx. I absolutely love how these came out. They are so good, in my opinion. I was here, and it's all in the longs right now. A very difficult layout. We're gonna see if I can shoot 8 down. It is 35 degrees maybe right now. Feels like 22 according to my weather app because of how much wind there is, and it's snowing. And it looks like it's 8 p.m., but it's only about 4:30. So it's gonna be an interesting round to try to shoot 8 under today. Definitely think I can do it, but there are a couple slight changes to my bag. So I'll explain as we head over to hole 1, because this is actually gonna be a mostly very wooded course. It's a $5 pay to play, and not much has changed in my bag, but I did change my black chicane, which had the banana butt, for just this orange one. Just a touch stiffer. The black ones are a little gummy, which actually would be really good since it's so cold right now, but it's also just really hard to see on camera as well as in person, so I changed it out for an orange Maxwell guy that I had thrown before. Very good feeling approach disc. I actually took out the mint disc bullet because it was very overlapping with this PA3, and I want to beat this thing in. It's pretty straight now. I want it to flip pretty hard, and it's a very similar slot to that bullet. And because I took the bullet out, I actually put an MB back in. I think I did want something a touch more overstable because I can throw the similar shots to the bullet just with a slightly different angle, but the bullet doesn't have the same wind fight that the MB does. So I put that in there, and the new cap wrap compared to the 2024, and that's about it. I was thinking about putting an Era in for my Roman, but I didn't have any time to do field work, so the Roman is still in the bag. That being said, hole 1 is 420 up to the left. We'll be able to get a lot of good wind reads because we'll be able to see the snow falling all day long. This is definitely a par hole. There's a lot of these front holes that are par holes. Game plan today is to commit to every shot. That's gonna be my mental cue. Just get through every shot and commit with every good swing, especially since we're in the woods. And then take everything with where it is and play one shot at a time. Hopefully we'll keep chatting about mental game like we did in the last video. There is a little headwind, so I would throw Sphinx, but I'm actually gonna beef up to my pretty straight double G Emperor. I think this will be, wow, there's a little headwind and a lot of wind and a lot of snow. Jeez. It's gonna be an interesting round. Hopefully my camera holds up. And first shot, let's make it count. Turn. I don't think that got through. Pretty good. I just like the slightly straighter disc than the overstable approach, because I don't really need a lot of fade. You're going uphill. So going uphill, the nose is gonna be up more and it's gonna fade a little more anyways. And with there being something to the right, I don't wanna accidentally pull it. I'd rather just throw straight. And we have a park job to get started. The rating that you see in the corner is what it would be estimated if we finished at this rating. It was a good suggestion by one of you guys right here. Not something I'm gonna try too hard to think about. Hole 2, double mando. I think a flex forehand is what it calls for mainly, because you basically just have to get lucky through trees if you go straight. But if you can turn something out of this gap and keep it high, because there's a very high floor, basically as high as this mound is, the floor is actually higher because there's trees that grow up in the valley that's around the other side. So I think either Roman or Scepter. I haven't been getting along with the Roman, unfortunately, too much, but the Scepter's been really good. I would throw a cap wrap, but I think I don't need that much stability, especially going uphill. And this one I can really kind of just pull through the gap. Okay, I think it's gonna be a little right. It wasn't quite as nose down as it needed to be to get parked. I'm gonna have to close this thing up. Put the chicane in here. Jeez, everything's getting so wet. Shout out European Birdies, makers of these beautiful bags. I got an affiliate link with them. We make some really high quality stuff. All right, well, You might be able to hear the residuals, but just thundered a little closer. And I'm in the woods, and this is accumulating, which is absolutely miserable. If I wasn't getting that sound, I'd be sticking this out, I think. Which, honestly, is probably an insane decision. So it's probably a good thing that the thunder came out, so yikes. I'm back. If this is literally any closer to my house, maybe not literally any closer, but since it's an hour 15 minutes away, I can't just like pick up and come back. So, hole one, no time to warm up, because apparently the snow is supposed to start up again in 36 minutes, according to the app. T-pads, luckily, are turf, so won't have to worry about like them freezing over like it was concrete. And this round has now turned into a round in which we just try to overcome obstacles. 8 down is the line. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. Why am I insane enough to be doing this? Just throwing a slightly flippier. Alba Nemper, honestly, it's a decent pack, so it's not terrible. Could be the Sphinx. Wow, I can't believe how much it snowed here. Okay, slight slip, but if it gets through, it's actually really good. No way. Okay, I hit a tree, but that's a 40-footer. I did bring out a little cover for the camera in case it does snow, because I'm finishing this round today. I can't come back out here tomorrow, and this video is this week's 1,000 rated challenge, because I only have so many weeks in the year. It's supposed to be snowing everywhere tomorrow. Actually, I wouldn't come out here anyways, because it's supposed to be snowing tomorrow. It's supposed to be snowing everywhere. So that sucks. Not gonna lie, can't wait to move, but trying to make the best of it for now. And I have a really long putt, but it's still a putt. Come on. Oh, that's pretty good. We'll take a par. I am happy that 8 down is the line here, because I think there's 2 par 4s. One of them is typically relatively eagleable. I think it's in a pretty far position today. And these tee pads, I'm just gonna try to get easy birdies, make the most of every shot, but not overthink it. I cannot be out here trying to do anything hyper aggressive. So it's gonna be good practice, but I know I can still have some good shots. And honestly, this snow, you can hear it, it's like pack snow. So it's not the end of the world, but it's absolutely not good. Forehand, I think also I might lean on that a little more. I'm gonna go to this Emperor on the forehand actually, instead of the Scepter. Pull it through the gap. It's a little faster, so I can turn it over a little more and might push a little farther. Oh, baby. If that didn't clip anything, it's actually pretty good. Ended up leaking a little bit to the side. I'm really focusing on planting that last step, not like trying to have it be bent into the last step. But you watch a lot of pros, I do at least, and there's like, this leg seems strong already, goes into the ground and stays strong, especially today. That's the name of the game. That front leg, I need to stay behind it, so I need to stay braced on it instead of trying to squat into it today. Forehand and backhand, that's gonna be pretty key, but the other key is just rushing through this. Taking my time on each shot, but not a lot of dilly-dallying today. Glad I don't bag a lot of discs. I can just throw this in the main compartment. Let's go. At least I learned something from that shot before I had to leave in the first round. 1 down through 2 with a circle 1 make. Some of these are just gonna have to believe me that it's the T-pad. 247. Flip it down the middle, maybe with the PA3. It's a little flex shot. The down the middle line with a forehand I think is the best play. Could be the chicane, but I think the Scepter's pretty solid because it's pretty straight for an overstable 9 speed. Oh! That was not good at all. Okay, I still feel very clunky trying to figure out the slow footwork here. One that would be a good birdie. None of them are muskets though. I gotta get that out of my head. Because this one's right in front of you. You feel like you gotta get it, but none of them are. And on that forehand, I kept it really wide. Instead of rotating through, I tried to arm it a lot. Because that's what my typical compensation is when I'm throwing slowly, is arming. So on forehands, when I'm trying to throw slow, my cue might just be rotate slowly. Hey, we're chilling with that. Tap that in, move along. Oh, I feel snow coming out right through this gap. I don't know if that's snow falling or the trees having snow get dropped by the wind. Because you're going to go downhill, oh, snowfall. We're going Supra here. Turn it. It's pretty straight, so it's going to take a minute for it to fade, and that's exactly what we need on this shot. I think that's parked. That's the best shot ever. Let's go. Well, wasn't quite as good as I thought. A little short, just outside the circle. These are like pellets of snow. Jeez. All right, let's throw on your little umbrella. Oh, shoot. Something ripped through it. Okay, not the end of the world. The main important bits are the electronics in the receiver. All right, we might get some wide shots for the rest of this round because the snow is now the snowiest that it's been, but in pellet form. I'm gonna make sure I finish this video as long as it doesn't thunder. Though I am crazy, the content must go on. This is like freaking Dippin' Dot snow. What in the world? No! Oh! I thought that was perfect. The framing is bad, I'm very sorry, but I'm gonna do my best. 330 feet down this gap with a rightward finish. Forehand I think works great, but mostly a straight forehand. I actually didn't hate the Sphinx play in the video that I filmed earlier, and there was no snow. So now that there is snow, my romp's gonna be slower, so it'll be good for a slightly more understable 9-speed. Snag these if you want. And not gonna skip as hard. So rotate slowly. Okay, now I got nose up problems, but whew, be long up and down, but an up and down for a par. There's still birdies to come. I'm telling myself that this whole round, whether I'm on hole 17 and I'm 2 over par, there's still birdies to come. It's not about the score today, it's about the process. Not the simplest upshot, but I think still a putting upshot. Whoa. Oh no, that's at the circle. No ground play today. No! Straight spit through. I hate this right side of this basket. Hit right here, all the way through the chains. Of course, I don't want to have to come back down here to finish this series out next week, because if I can't beat it, I come back and play it again. But if that does happen, it's a beautiful end of the drive, and this is a beautiful course. And next week it's going to be in the 70s. So if I come next like Wednesday or Thursday, it'll actually be good. Hole 6 is a 380-foot par 3, new position. Right there, I was talking with the keeper of the course, and he let me know he just put it in today. So, barbed wire, starting down where that little wooden junction is. Cigar might be good, but I think also a Roman. Just thrown out there, flat, should fade. Not a lot of ground play today, but it also is not gonna turn over. So it's a safer option. Get there, baby. Gonna be a little short. Minimal skip, might be about 40 feet, so chance for bird. I like a safe play today. Never even flirting with the OB. Getting myself to 40 feet. Headwind, hyzer putt. No, I really like the shape of that. I knew I had to flirt with that, but we'll take it. I didn't get to play this next portion of the course in the other video. I kind of skipped around a little to only do 10 holes. So, we're learning today how those holes are playing. Looks like we got a 587-foot par 4. Mando to the right of that tree to get started. I think the Island Emperor is a great option. Maybe even the Sphinx, but just want to get through that gap, fly straight for a while. I think there's OB right somewhere, but it seems like it's pretty far to the right. I've never seen anyone really flirt with it. So as long as I throw flat to slight hyzer to this gap and push pretty good distance, should have a decent upshot, hopefully get back under par. Awkward feeling shot, absolutely great result. Bad news, I just stuck my hand in my pocket of my sweater to try to warm it up. And there's like ice crystals in there from the snow blowing sideways into it. Less than ideal. You gotta love it, man. Well, you don't have to. But if you can find a way to not hate it, you'll likely play better disc golf. That's what I'm telling myself. All right, there's a pole in the distance. You can likely see the baskets connected to the pole. 250, it's 2 260, somewhere in there. Would be a chicane. Not in this weather though. I'd rather beef up and rotate slowly. No! There's a creek down here, so hopefully I didn't go there because I'm pretty sure that's OB. Whew, I think I kicked off this tree, so that's good. Oh, okay, kick safe. I'm gonna set you guys up here. Right. See you in a couple years. Par. We'll take it. So I got a couple holes in the front nine. 8's still possible. No bogeys. Well, one bogey. But the birdies are here. They are just significantly harder to steal right now. But not impossible. Hole 8, 285. Straight ahead, you can see that pole. And you can see all this wind. I do think Scepter. Could be the cap wrap, but this distance, this is definitely the better disc. I don't have the tendency to roll them like I did on that kind of like over planting. So, just throw a smooth backhand, let it fade. Let's start the birdie train. Swing, swing, batter, swing. That's gonna be really good. Let's go. On that tee pad, the first time that in super adverse conditions, I maybe ever, at least in a while, have even started to sense some calm in myself. Typically, I get into a pretty elevated state and stay there because this is very frustrating. Honestly, talking to you, trying to keep a level head for the sake of the video and the sake of the series, and just my mental game working on it is very helpful. Getting pelted in the face with a decent amount of wind and a lot of snow, it's very miserable, honestly. But I felt that a rise in my stomach and in my chest. And right before I threw, I felt a little bit of calm. I didn't really lean into it too hard there, but I'm trying to cultivate that over these next couple holes and make sure that a round like this, frankly, 8 down, possible, will be very difficult. I'll be very pleasantly surprised at myself if I make it happen. I still believe I can, but it'll be very hard. Shots like these do help. This round can still be very useful to me in my mental game if I can harness that calm, even when I feel lots of nerves, because your body, I mean, I don't think my body really knows the difference between pressure nerves and frustration nerves. Take my time, center myself, even right here, it can be great. I felt the calm there too. I'm gonna keep working on that. That's the main focus for today's round. 1 down, 8 down is great, but what's better than 8 down in today's round is cultivating an ability to calm myself on tee pads. I've never really felt that before, or on putts. And both on the tee pad and at that putt, I kind of let it settle in. This series is already doing a lot of work for me, and I'm really grateful. So hope you guys enjoy it too. It's definitely one that I'm super excited for this year. Especially if after that like outburst and that frustration on that really shanked Scepter shot, the forehand up shot on the par 4, being able to calm it down, I'm really happy with. So 1 birdie, hole 9. I've never seen this placement before. I haven't played here all that often. It looks like a fun one. Also looks slightly easier in this wind than the other position, so I'm actually pretty happy. It's more of an easy hyzer because it's open to the right, 290-ish feet. I'm gonna disc up to a Roman and throw a big hyzer with that, because I think my stock shot on that hole up the hill will be pretty good for here. Just a little higher. I can get it with a mid, get it with a putter, but in this weather, throwing big ol' hyzer. That's it. Oh, what a roll. Let's go. Since we're going into the hillside, it was good. I've not been in love with the Romans this year, like I was a lot last year. And I don't know if it's just the disc or me or what. I'm probably gonna mess with the Era in that slot because Finish Line is a sponsor of mine, and that's a really good 10-speed. And I don't exactly know what it is, but I just don't feel dialed with most of my discs yet. So throwing that shot was solid, but I feel more comfortable getting it out wider. And maybe it's just a different Roman. That one I died and it looks cool, so I put it in the bag, but I have some staples from last year that maybe I like. But I kind of had a hit or miss relationship with it last year as well. Even though I loved it, I didn't always throw it the best. I like this because there's a lot of space open here, and then I was able to hit into a hill, which will stop it rather than skip it. So, good position for my hyzer play. Similar to the last hole, right at that 280, 290. Same wind fighting against it, going slightly uphill. I don't know what it is about it though. I'm thinking of throwing the scepter instead. I do feel, in general, more confidence with this scepter, and like the Seablin one specifically. And it's pretty similar to the Roman, it just has a little more bite, but it's also more beat in, so it has like a pushier glide phase, even if it's a smaller glide phase. Whew. If I hit that tree, it's right out of the basket, that's okay. Oh, yes, let's go. Right in front of it, that's perfect. It's basically aiming at it and hoping to miss, and I did. I also do really like the suggestion from one of you guys to basically do what I'm doing in this video in tournaments. So I'm gonna practice that on Saturday. I'm also not gonna film, and I think that'll have a big effect. If I win, I might make a video about it, but I'm just gonna try to play my best golf and see where it stacks up. Maybe even conditions like this, so good practice for that. But a couple of you guys mentioned, hey, when you're playing tournaments, why not just talk out loud in the T-pad like you do for a video? And I do get a lot of good externalized processing. And I think even if I do say the same things in my head, if I say them out loud, I process them better and they get out. So I really appreciate that suggestion. I hadn't really thought about that before, because I'm like, well, I do in my head, but that's not the same. There's probably some science that says that, but I don't know, it just feels that way. So next hole, 11, island hole, baby. Gotta make the island, raised basket. This is one that I'm okay with a par on this back, but it'd be great to keep the train rolling. 335 is what I'm getting. I think since this chicane is pretty glidey for an overstable approach, but still an overstable approach, it'd be a pretty good option. Throw it out there wide, let it fade in. Probably won't go too far, and it'll have some bite. I like the deep breaths that I'm doing. I tried box breathing before, but it's like where you breathe in, hold, or you're supposed to do it through your nose and then your mouth, whatever. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, and then hold again. And for some reason it just helped, like raised my, I don't know, raised my stimulation. But deep breathing just, I think that helps me to calm. So I know a lot of people like box breathing, but I don't think it worked quite as well for me as deep breathing does. So I like that on the C-pads, get the calm down and throw a smooth shot, get scores out of the head, focus on the line. Okay, was a little short. It's a good disc. I have a long putt there. Give it a up and down bid. I try not to say soft bid because then I just short it. But if I say up and down bid, then I do the same thing because I'm trying to get it over the chains and then to drop in. And then it stays close to the basket because I'm trying to do an up and down bid rather than a soft bid where historically I've just shorted it. And sometimes my soft bids go under the cage because I just do my normal thing, which still doesn't even really get that much above the cage. And it drops. So if I just think about, whoop, it's better for me. Oh, it's pretty much exactly what I wanted to do, but I could have put it a little higher. I really struggle with these elevated ones. That's a good putt if I'm 34 feet away. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna throw the sector. I really liked how it flew on hole 4. Have a slight right to left helper. So if I throw it slight hyzer to flat, a little right, should fade in. And because it's blunt as a mid-range, it's not gonna skip too hard. Get up there. A little straight, that's a 25-foot putt though. Scores and how many holes I can miss are starting to creep in my head, which historically has not been helpful for me. Maybe it's helpful for some people, but gotta clear my head and make a good putt. Not make the putt, just make a good putt. Let's go. I'm actually really happy. It's hard to say I haven't had time to practice putt, but my time has been it's hard to come by this week with my baby girl and training and the weather being crap and some other stuff. So I haven't been practice putting as much as I likely should have, but the stroke still feels good. I was nervous about that, and it's something I'll continue to work on and touch up, especially in circle 2, and especially in elevated baskets. That is a beautiful hawk, holy. Wow, that's massive. That's an owl. No way. That's so cool. Oh, he just pooped. Hopefully you saw that. So cool. I think it's a horned owl, maybe? Super pretty. It's getting to be pretty dusky. That's so cool. I haven't seen an owl in a long time. I need to be in the woods more. Here's another hole that I hadn't seen until I played with the Sphinxes earlier today. And it's actually a great design because there could be a big wide hyzer, but there's not. You have to go up this middle and fade down the hill. It's only 260. So could be chicane, but I'm liking throwing the slower, smoother, either Captain's Raptor. I think I have to trust the Scepter. I threw it pretty poorly a couple times, but it still is. Actually, I like really pulling over that cap wrap right to left through the gap because it's a bigger gap initially here, and then it tightens in this way. And so if I throw, the anhyzer has more time to move to the left. So I throw the cap wrap. No, I don't like it. It's kind of touching the edge of my comfortable, smooth range. And I got up here and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to juice this. If I really want to pull something over, this has enough stability that I can, but I think just a touch of flex off that tree will work out. Skip off the top. Yes! It's gonna be way long, but that's pretty good. Oh, wow, let's go, hit the brush pile. Yes, circle one. Let's go. All right, 4 to play, hole 15. Oh wait, I missed a hole. Which one did I miss? Oh, yeah, I just skipped hole 14. Okay, the real hole 14. Straight through this gap somewhere. Okay, straight with a little fade. So mostly a straight shot that gets a touch of stability at the end of its flight. This actually might be a great hole for my Sphinx because it'll have a great glide phase, stay straight, and then fade down there. There is like a hill that the basket sits on, but there's not a lot of ground play right now, so I'm not super worried about that. I do also like the Sphinx because of the ceiling. I would like the Sector, or maybe even just like an Envy, but I think the Sphinx is great because of how low the ceiling is. I can throw it smooth, and it'll get there fast. And if it's a good shot, you have to get one. Sorry, that's the rules. Over rotation. Wow, these offset gaps might even be a little harder. Straight. Ooh, there's the owl. Probably shouldn't have said anything. Should have just focused on my game instead of salesmanship. Because now nobody's ever gonna buy it. Trust the Scepter. And then throwing it well. That's a putt. It's gonna be way too far right, but I trust myself to hit the gap with that. I didn't like the options. I'll have a putt, and for scoring reasons, even if I bogey this whole single bogey, if I birdie out, I still get to my 8. It's not ideal, and of course, I'm doing a lot better about calming myself down. I'm glad I hit that gap. Really unfortunate shot with my Tour Series this year, but I still have a Band-Aid putt that I can make for the par. Snow's starting to fall again. I'm wanting to make this a pretty cinematic make. Up and down putt, keep it on line. Swing. Yes! What a putt! Come on, I thought I missed that right. Let's go. That is a round saving par for my challenge. But either way, just calm myself down and making a good putt. I thought I pulled it, so still work to do there because it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to come out of my hand. But I think I forgive the Patriot baskets for all of my cut throughs and spit outs and terribleness. Wow. Hey look, it's all my footsteps coming up here since I'm the only one out here crazy enough to be here. And when I thought that this was the next hole. Looks like we got a slight left to right wind. It is so wet that like my underlayer in here is wet and I'm like starting to chafe my armpits. That's a little too much information, but hope you enjoy it. I'm thinking PA3. It's 330, but this is a disc that if I hit it pretty hard, it should drift to the basket and run out of steam before it gets there. Everything else I might have to have a little more touch. And I think this is one that I can have a good shot with. Slip, turn, wind, come on, help me. That was the right disc choice. That's a long putt. Dang, first big slip of the day. That's okay. Yes, I thought they cut out the back. Let's go. Come on. 3 to play. 2 to get. It's out of my head. I'm so bad at not thinking about scores. Okay, my basket is somewhere. But hopefully you can see the basket out to the right. Dang, I thought this was like a little dinker. It is not a little dinker. It's a little stinker. Definitely gettable. It's downhill. I think this Esplend Pink Emperor could be great because it's got some stability. I can throw it pretty flat to slight turn. It'll ride the wind and then fade. Just gotta keep it high enough to get that fade. I've been throwing low today. Throw it smooth. Yes, come on, baby. I think it's good. I have no idea if it's in the circle, if it's short, long, or what, but I did what I wanted, and the disc did what I wanted. So if it's bad, that's on my prep. And my head is also thinking about, hey, I can miss this putt and still get the last two. Nope, that's true, but I can also make this putt. Let's go. I need to chat out loud in my tournaments, man. This is so helpful. Basket up there to the left. This is a new par 4 position up here. I have been told by Mr. Courseman. I'm sorry I didn't get your name. You're the best. Thank you for saying hi today. My play is to kind of break it down into 2 par 3s. Throw one to where that normal other par 4 position is, and then one across the way with an open look. There's right over this ridge. There's a lot of those little twigs, but there's also a pretty open spot that you can just chip to. But since I haven't played here in a while, I don't really know where that is. So I'd rather throw to where I know it's open and just rip my farthest flying disc, my Island Emperor. Slight headwind, so a decent bit of hyzer, and just rip it at those trees. If I finish righter, it's fine because I can see how open it is over there. And since I'm playing this hole pretty blind, I've never played this before, just trying to get myself to where I can see is open and I know I can reach. And I might even leave myself another 400 feet, but I'd rather have an open shot than a stymied second. Come on. Oh my gosh. I just wiped this on my sweatshirt, and my sweatshirt's so snowy. Turned it a bit, get over. I could see its flight the whole way, and I can see where it hit. That's all I'm asking for. This is that little bit in there. See kind of how small that landing zone looks for someone who hasn't played it in a while? I just didn't really want to have to mess with it. And I might not even have a super open stance here, but I think I gave myself a... Distances can be so deceiving too, because from the tee pad, I thought if I threw over here, I was gonna have like 400 to the basket. No, it's like, I'm gonna guess 215, maybe. 209, losing it. PA3 or chicane would likely be good. The wind doesn't look like much based off the snow. So I think, because I don't want to fade left, it looks a little more dangerous left. I'm gonna throw a hyzer with the PA3 because it's pretty straight. It might flip up a bit and kind of just try to aim on the top side of that basket. Because if I land it 20 feet right, or if I'm aiming for that and I miss my shot to the left, I have plenty of room. If I miss it to the right, less ideal, but also it's safer up there than missing it super left. So I missed it right. Ish, that's 20 feet. Let's go, I gotta hit my spot. It would be a benefit to get comfortable with standstill shots because I still wasn't at 210. I know I can throw it, but it's not something I've practiced as much, so I knew the slight run up would help. But I think getting a smooth standstill, I think of Niklas. I just watched the Jomas practice round, playing triples, him, Kevin Jones, and Ben Callaway. The smoothness of his standstills is pretty unparalleled. It's really nice. Definitely something to aspire to because it's just such a smooth arm path. It makes it easy. Scores in my head? Not anymore, just the pull. Yes. That one I still had a little nerves, but I knew that my mechanics could take over. 8 down, 1 to play. There's some danger on this last hole. It'd be great to get to 9 and keep beating what the average 1,000 rated round would be. But really, really happy with this so far. One more, let's go. It's calling this hole 227 right there. The lake does kind of crawl into that little cove to the left of the basket, but it's safe straight. So you want a straight finishing shot. If anything, I think the same PA3 again. So long as I don't bogey this hole, I will shoot my 8 down, which I'm very happy about. Very happy about, very proud of myself. So that means next week, a new course, which you guys can vote on the community poll. I am taking those. I'm only putting 5 on there because that's all that you can answer. If you go over to my community tab on my channel, I'll listen to whichever one you guys say, and that'll be the next one. That said, 2:30, let's make it happen. Subscribe. Sorry that the biggest shank of the day was my Sphinx. Biggest shank so far. Something can still happen. But snag one if you want. I really, really like them. Sorry I didn't do it justice on that shot. And that's the safe miss. Got down there a little bit, 35 feet. Little death putt. I was definitely a little more of a preservation shot than it had any need to be. I know that my goal was reached and I knew that I didn't have a chance to continue to make it back up. So I don't know if that's the right or wrong play. I would love to work on my aggressive muscle, and I still will probably run this putt to work on that because I still put it edge of circle, maybe just outside. That's something that's going through my head there. I'm not quite sure if it's right or wrong. Maybe a little scaredy putt. Pretty sweet practice area out here at Prickly Pines. But I also want to talk about UDisc grading because some people asked me some questions about that and why I didn't like it, and I had to think about it. Missed a couple in the circle. 83% C1X, 17% C2, but my driving was C2 in regulation, 83%, so pretty good. Only 56% in circle 1, which is why there's 50% birdies because I missed that last birdie putt. I think the other circle 1 miss was the hole that I bogeyed.
No!
Yep, because I was right at 30 feet after laying up that. Not a bad day on the greens, not a great day on the greens, but the UDisc rating was 251. And I don't think this is how UDisc developed it, and two things. One, why I don't like UDisc rating. The reason I don't like UDisc rating is because I care about my PDGA rating. In a sense, like this year I'm caring less about it while I'm trying to focus on the experience and whatever, but it is ultimately important for me trying to play professionally. And I think the second reason for that is a lot of times I get UDisc ratings for rounds that I like do reviews on and play super casually. It's like, since disc golf is both my job professionally as a creator and aspiring professionally as a professional athlete, I don't want another thing to be measuring me, and there's no way to really turn it off, and I would like to turn it off sometimes so I can just go and play and not worry about it personally. Someone put a formula in the comments that so far it made sense to me, surprisingly, which was UDisc rating times 2 plus 500 is your PDGA rating. So 251 times 2, 502, plus 500, 1002, which is pretty spot on with what I've approximated at this course. And this obviously has a much bigger aggregate of data. And the last round at Adams Hollow, when we played there, and what I assumed was about a 1065-ish rated round, that was rated 278. And that would be right around 1056. So in the ballpark of what I was thinking. So personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it still, just because there's so many markers for me to look at my progress and my ability, and I can only care about so much. And sometimes when I don't want to care about things, it's there for me. Like if I'm reviewing discs and I play bad, but I do it on UDisc, I still get a UDisc rating. And I just don't like that as much. And I realize that that's the reason, not because I think it's actually a bad system. It's just a very personal thing to me. So if you guys like UDisc rating, I actually think you're probably spot on for it, especially if you don't play tournament rounds. I do think it's not 100% accurate like that formula, but I think it's a decent approximator of play. Interesting finds there. Thank you for making me think about that a little bit more, because I hadn't really thought about why I don't like it. I just didn't like it, and I still don't for the most part, but I like this series. So far it's been spot on, and we can continue to see if it makes sense for the rest of the series as hopefully I continue shooting my 1,000 rated rounds. But this was a real grind. This was a battle, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I've said it before, but I'm trying to externalize positive things for myself, but I'm very proud of myself for how I handled this round and figured out how to calm myself down. Doing that on the tee pad after that shanked forehand and having to like trudge down this terrible like steep cliff and pitch something out, and it was snow hitting my face, being able to find that ability to calm down and really take a relaxing deep breath and relaxing my shoulders, that's really what's helped for me, not box breathing personally, which I'm glad I found that out as well. I was then able to have a really solid round, and I hope you guys enjoy this series. It'll be back next week. Go vote on which course. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I really enjoy this series. It feels much more casual, and I feel like I can connect with you guys better and really share my journey. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. One more video this week. Peace.